Pretty pumped about this week's podcast. In the house is Clint Hill. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. And yourself?
Good. I noticed your email says Clinton now. What's going on with that?
I don't know why all of a sudden I've added the O-N.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Something new?
I'm on.
Okay, I do like that. And we're going to rip the first podcast out about what is the combination of strength and conditioning and what do they both mean.
Unreal.
Let's rip in.
Welcome to the Body Science Podcast. As always, the information contained in this podcast is for the information purposes only and is not designed to diagnose or be prescriptive to treat, prevent, or manage any injury, disease, or other health-related condition.
Welcome to Body Science HQ, the world of fit, happy, healthy. I'm going to throw on the end of that, like I do every week, strength and conditioning. And we're actually going to talk about what those two words mean because they're thrown around a lot.
Yep.
We're going to talk about what it is and what the combination of them means.
Yeah, great.
So before we kick off, mate, why don't we just establish why you're talking about that?
Yeah, look, I guess this is a topic that comes up really frequently and is probably thrown around a lot more than it used to be. Everyone's a strength and conditioning coach these days and, without qualifications in a lot of cases. So I think first and foremost, getting the actual definition of what the words mean is a good starting point.
Right, well, let's start with strength. Let's get straight into it.
Look, I guess the sub-qualities of strength are the big part of this. You know, you can have a lot of different types of strength. And I think where people get confused is they'll see, strength as max strength most of the time rather than thinking of body weight as being part of strength or, some types of combination between both. And what I mean by combinations between both is that looking at strength in the emphasis of high rep range or low rep range. They're both different qualities of strength.
Okay, nice. And mate, where does conditioning fall into that?
Look, the type of conditioning that you do is about sending it for yourself, setting it up and actually understanding what you're trying to achieve. If you're a long distance Ironman triathlete, your type of conditioning is endurance based. If you're someone who does 45-minute F45 style workouts, it's a very different style of conditioning that needs to be done there. So I think the crux of the matter becomes what is your goal to get the right result. And I think far too regularly now we're looking at social media and seeing what someone else does and thinking that is what you need to do rather than looking at your wants, needs and desires and going after that.
Yeah, man, I love that. Like, let's be really honest. Why do we call everyone strength and conditioning coaches then when you've just described potentially thousands of different variances of what that could be?
Look, to start with, the strength and conditioning coach must be qualified in the field.
And what type of qualifications are we talking there? We're talking there Cert 4 in fitness?
No, so you must have an ASCA level 1 or above qualification.
So you don't need any type of PT Cert 4s for this?
No, you
can
don't.
Go straight, do that straight up.
You can go straight to that. But I think generally what you find is that people will do the level 1 strength conditioning post Cert 3, Cert 4 or post level 1 CrossFit to get more education, to get more knowledge and to, I guess, work in a different field.
And that's a highly recommended course by you, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, there is no other in Australia or technically the world, as this is the only international strength and conditioning qualification within Australia.
And how does the pathway work for someone who starts at, like you just talked about, get your level 1? What happens after that?
Look, I think the key factor realistically is you get your level 1 and you get some industry experience. You get involved with, your local footy side, your local soccer team, whatever it happens to be, so that you can start to build on some of that knowledge that's learned. Learn for some good coaches around you and then boost your knowledge.
So, mate, that's strength and conditioning in a nutshell? Yeah,
look, I think the biggest part about that is understanding that if somebody's at a regular gym, they can call themselves a strength and conditioning coach, but the qualification itself is what deems them to be set aside from that.
So when I do a level 1 Asca S&C course, what am I learning?
So that's where you'll go through full periodization models, full recovery understanding, and also the acknowledgement of how to process teams. So therefore you go through from assessment right through the process of writing the programs and into off-season and then setting it back up again to go again.
Nice. And when you talk, for those people who don't understand what periodization is, what's that?
Periodization is looking at a year as a snapshot or a synopsis and going through and breaking it up into periods of the year. So you might have pre-season, in-season and post-season. You might have, a period of pre-season under the next level where you're doing hypertrophy, where you're trying to grow muscle mass or you're trying to build endurance base, whatever the sport may be, and then moving into in-season and understanding how to maintain that and get through that whole process.
And where does the strength part fall into that? Why do they call it strength and conditioning and not a conditioning coach?
Yeah, look, I guess they're depending on what sport you're looking at, you could actually have separate strength and a conditioning coach, especially especially sports like AFL. They really look at separating those areas. But generally, the reason that strength falls as part of that is because most of these sports are either contact-based or injury-based. And what I mean by injury-based is that they have severe injuries that occur from overuse and impact. So the stronger you are, the less those injuries occur.
Mate, any last words for a young man or a young woman out there that wants to take the path?
Yeah, look, absolutely. Talk to a good quality coach around you. The ASCA website allows you to go through a mentor program. You can actually go through and learn from a highly educated coach.
Okay, mate, thanks for coming on board. I think you've summed up what this is and what the combination means. And thanks for coming on board.
Thanks very much, mate. Great.
Hey team, it's Greg from Body Science here. The Hydroxyburn Shred is back on shelf. It's our new therapeutic, has all the taste. And if you're looking for a better thermogenic, we've really pushed for the pursuit of a better thermogenic. Full disclosure on the labelling. What do we mean? Caffeine levels have changed. We all know the rules have changed. The ingredients have changed. The claims have changed. We have a clean label with premium quality ingredients for you. So what does that mean for you? You can look at things like metabolism, energy, sugar metabolism, fat metabolism, cognitive function, thyroid, and just general health and well-being. And it's all on the label. If you're taking a fat burner now and it doesn't say it on the label, have a look at it and go, why? Get on board.